Alright everyone, welcome. This is the first outdoor video this year, first video with Keith this year, 2023. We're still here and surviving so far. It's a week-to-week survival situation, but we've got some geese that are fighting, but we'll try to do video through it. Also, there may or may not be wind. This is a low-budget operation, so just bear with us. But recently I did a conversation with the guy I started this channel with on the phone all those years ago, Matt, about the Disney Star Wars films, and I guess Keith got wind of that video or recording or whatever, and in the comments I think he said, whatever you said, I got a lot to say about this. So that was the seeds were planted to hear what Keith thinks of the Disney Star Wars films, and several weeks later, here we are. Weather's okay. Life is kind of doable, and you said we want to have a little conversation about it. It'd be mostly him, but he just, before I pressed record, he said ask him questions. I don't know
Well,
what that means. Do you want to just start with just do them in release order, or how do you want to tackle it?
Sure. I don't know if you want me to list what are my favorite ones in order, or.
Yes, that's exactly what I want you to do.
Okay.
What are your favorite Star Wars films in order?
In order, probably. I mean, Empire is probably my favorite one.
It's a very common favorite among fans.
But yeah, I would say the first three, and then
the first
prequels.
three being the first three that came
Right,
out.
4, 5, and 6, and then 1, 2, and 3 would be my ones that I would like the best.
Is there a favorite out of 1, 2, and 3 that you can say is your favorite?
Um, I mean, Revenge of the Sith has the meat and potatoes of what the other two are leading into. But honestly, I like the first one the best.
Oh, okay. Well, that's you right.
Mainly because I really like Liam Neeson.
Oh, okay. As an actor, or what his character?
As an actor and his character, and it laid the foundation. And if they didn't do it well in that, the other two wouldn't have made any sense. That's my opinion on that one.
Okay.
Um,
I remember when the title for episode 2 was revealed, you were kind of disappointed, as was I. Phantom Menace just was a really cool title, and then when Attack of the Clones, you were kind of like,
I was like, it should be the Clone Wars or whatever I said probably at the time.
yeah.
Attack of the Clones,
It sounds like a B movie, but I mean,
Right.
I guess that's what he was kind of going for with the Star Wars films, and replicating the Saturday matinee serials.
yeah. I mean, did the prequels have some cheesy acting? Well, sure they did. Of course, they're doing. I mean, partially they're doing what they were told to do. But I'd like in Attack of the Clones, Hayden Christensen was just kind of too.
It's not fair.
Right, it's not fair. It's like they tried really too hard to be dark without going too dark.
Oh,
Where it just was basically like if a child doesn't get their way, they're going to go to the dark side and, eventually kill you with the lightsaber someday. That's the way it looked, in parts of it. Now, I think if they just would have stuck with what happened to his mom and just went along with that as a story, I thought that would have been good. That's what would have pushed them, right?
okay.
But, okay, so.
Do you want me to ask you now
Sure.
what your thoughts are? So well, here's the question. What were your thoughts when, Disney buys Lucasfilm and the plans are announced to do, finally, what we thought would never happen, 7, 8, 9,
I knew it was the death of Star Wars.
because of Disney?
Yep. Because of Disney and because of Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah, but she hadn't screwed up yet, wasn't
Sure
was
she
it?
did. Sure she did.
What'd she screw up on before?
When I saw her come out saying the
The
Force is
Forces.
women,
Oh, well, okay.
okay, that's when I knew what we were getting.
Okay.
That's when I kind of knew what the agenda was for the next three. And that's exactly
More than the next three. Everything moving forward.
Well, right, yeah, but it's in talking just strictly Star Wars, yeah. But
Okay, so never any hope for 7, which is understandable. I mean,
no, I mean,
I was cautiously optimistic.
yeah, no, I had no hope for it. I mean, I don't know if I should say no hope, but
Very little.
I didn't think it would be what I would feel would have been a adequate continuation. Um, but as far as the other three goes, like, so if you want to know which
What
ones I
other
like,
three?
the sequels.
Oh, we're just gonna go all over the place.
Well, if you wanted me to go to 7, 8, 9, right?
Well, okay.
Or what do you want?
I don't know. It doesn't matter what order we do, but what about we thought maybe release year would be good. So then
Okay.
after 6, it's
A Force Awakens.
yeah,
What did I think of it? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, Force Awakens. Basically, it looked like a rehashed New Hope
it's a remake. Of New
with swapped characters and names, and I could see the foundation for what would make sense in the next two movies. I thought no, I'll say this before getting totally into Force Awakens. The issue that a lot of people have, like myself, with some of these new Star Wars movies, is the fact that, whether people want to acknowledge it or not, there is a fan base that played games, that has read novels, that came well before these movies, but were supposed to be extensions of what happens after Return of the Jedi. And so what a lot of the fan base, including me, is like they basically took all that and threw it away. And so we're like, ooh. It wasn't fans. There was little fan service to the actual fans who bought all this other merchandise, and then we came up into the times of canon or non-canon, and canon or non. I mean, it's just stupid. But like when we left Return of the Jedi, to me, all 6 of the original movies were about, at the core of it, it was about family. That's really what it was about. We get The Force Awakens and they just destroy the family. Like, Leia and Han Solo aren't together. We don't know why. Because their son went bad, so now they decided to be divorced because of that. I don't know.
Space divorced.
And, then, we don't, they basically troll you with Luke Skywalker the entire movie.
I know, because I remember they were keeping it so hush-hush. For a while, I thought it might even be the guy under the Kylo Ren mask.
Right.
Which actually would have been a lot cooler than...
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
Now they also, see, what I mean by this is Kylo Ren, actually, his character is almost written exactly as the Solo's daughter was. The daughter was the one that went to the dark side.
Oh, okay. In the books?
In the books, there's twins. There's Kylo and Jason.
Now, when saying books, we're talking about comic books or novels?
Novels.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, novels. And so they didn't acknowledge that at all. That didn't exist. So that was weird. And they basically tried to throw both the characters into one character in writing, and Kylo was about as whiny as Hayden Christensen in Attack of the Clones, it seemed. I didn't like. Obviously, I saw the beginnings of the whole Mary Sue thing.
She could just get in the Millennium Falcon and...
She's been on a desert planet forever, but yeah, she could just fly the Millennium Falcon. She knows how to fix everything. She manages to, then the most absurd part of it all was she manages to outforce a guy on a ship. This is that one, right, where she's on the ship captured? And
Yeah.
he's trying to get in her head?
Yeah.
And she resists that, and then she beats him in a lightsaber fight? Totally ridiculous. Totally ridiculous.
When this guy's spent how many hours training?
Well, years.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Training. Exactly. There's no, You can have natural athletes in real life, but against a trained athlete, the natural athlete most likely won't overcome them because the other ones had training. Still be really good. They can still be decent, but they're not going to be, winning the gold medal. That's just my opinion. Could be wrong. Sure, tell me if I'm wrong. But yeah. So yeah, and it was just they went along kind of a safe route, I think, of doing the same formula. Something's going to kill all the planets, so we got to go stop it.
I was so disappointed in just like another Death Star.
Right.
It's the same old thread again.
Yep.
It's just like, oh, how original.
Right. And then I I had said before the movie even came on, like they're gonna. I said they're gonna. I think they're gonna kill one in each movie.
Of the original trilogy characters.
The three ones, yeah. Like Chewie, I didn't.
Hard to say.
Right, but yeah. So they kill Han off. So we never actually get a scene with the three again, or the four. I should say the four with Chewbacca as well.
Oh, he's the fourth one.
Well, yeah. The droids are always just there, but even the droids got replaced during these movies.
That's true.
They got replaced by a vacuum cleaner and something that rolls around or looks like a skateboard. I can't remember what it is. But and so the premise of what it seemed like for Force Awakens was to uncover the map to locate Luke Skywalker, which doesn't make any sense because later on down the road in the other movies, Leia can reach out and feel her son across light years, but she doesn't know where her brother is. It's just kind of weird. And the brother turned himself off to the Force, so you'd be able to find him even easier. So I don't know.
Okay. Is that your piece on
That's
Force
my piece
Awakens?
on Force Awakens. Yeah.
You want to do them in release order?
Sure.
So then, I'm fairly certain, although not completely certain, that I'm pretty sure that out of all the Disney ones, the next one is Rogue One. So out of all the Disney ones, it's my favorite. We'll see how you stack up.
Same.
Oh, interesting.
Exact same.
So Keith and I's favorite Disney Star Wars film is Rogue One, and feel free to let us know why that is for you.
It was. I think it was a pretty straightforward story, and anyone.
It didn't have the burden of trying to follow a timeline of things that had already happened.
Right. The only thing it had to get right was the end. That's the only thing that really needed to get right. Was how did we come to the point of the Death Star plans winding up with Leia? Once we established that, it's all good. But we got to see how the events that escalated there, and why Darth Vader was so insistent on getting those plans in the opening of New Hope.
Uh-huh.
It put some weight behind that. That it wasn't just random ship that has plans and we're going to come on board and get it. So they actually gave a whole backstory as to this. So I thought it was good, and it didn't. There wasn't a lot of agenda in that one that I saw.
Yeah, I'd say out of all of them, it was the least full of like shoving certain kind of ideas down the viewer's throat, and it was almost just this happy accident that happened because it took place during the. What's cool is it took place during the era of the first film, 4, so it has like the 70s era haircuts and mustaches.
Right.
And it was almost like almost like doing it in that era just kind of also made it not have the BS of what's going on now.
And I think in one respect, one reason I liked it, and one reason I think that Disney should think about maybe is they could actually make a Star Wars movie that wasn't reliant on characters or that were established already and stuff like that. They could actually make an entertaining movie that wasn't reliant on the Skywalker story.
Yeah, all of this legacy stuff.
But, and without having to just scroll into a bunch of stuff. But, so I appreciated that there was some originality to it, and it was good. I thought it was good.
Yep, that's also my favorite, and it was cool to see like the '70s era Star Wars vehicles
Yeah,
and characters with like the more, you know, whatever the newfangled digital effects.
yeah,
That was interesting,
yeah,
and it was just what was cool about it for me was just you grew up with the '70s '80s era Star Wars, and it was just all that same production design, but with the newer effects and
right. But it didn't look too, outlandish from what it was. You know
yep.
what I mean? So, yeah, I agree with that.
So here, before we go on to the next one, here's my question, and I'm assuming you don't have a problem with it because you didn't mention it, but maybe you forgot. But you mentioned the woman, the girl, and the Force Awakens who can do everything. Well, there's the main character in whatchamacallit. What's this called?
Rogue One.
Rogue One is female too, but I think it alludes back to what we had said earlier about this movie not being so much about jamming things down your throat. It felt like the good old days of the '90s where it was a female main character, but it wasn't shoving it down your throat.
Right. Well, it was that, and I think her crew, if you want to call it that, the crew that was around her were putting in just as much work as that character
Oh
was.
yeah, yeah. So it was a team effort, and not just
Right.
we're along with her, but she's doing it all because she can do it all.
Right. And she acted like she couldn't do it all. So I
Right.
mean,
Well, the fact that she wasn't, she was just the person. She wasn't like some Jedi, so she
Right.
couldn't do it all.
I mean, the most
Well-
her kind of shtick was she was like a rebel, like a pirate type character. So she fit into that role, that background of having to, do espionage kind of work, get the plans and all that other stuff. So yeah, I didn't feel it was shoved down our throat.
So somehow I don't know how that magically managed to happen, but we're very appreciative
Waiting for it again.
that it. Waiting for it again, and maybe this would be a good time to segue into whatever it's called. What's it called?
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, which is notorious. This will be interesting for me. It's notoriously everyone's favorite, or not favorite, absolutely most hated of the Disney Star Wars movies, and we'll see where Keith stands on this. I don't. Did you listen to the whole? Probably not.
I didn't, not the whole thing. But
Did you? Okay. So you may or may not know what my thoughts on it.
you
Already.
said it was your favorite.
It's my favorite of the
Of the
of 7, 8, 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's garbage.
Okay.
For the most part. And it goes into a lot of what I said. Once we get into Last Jedi, even I even was reading who was it Rian Johnson didn't even read the novel for Force Awakens, didn't even really watch it, is what he said.
Oh, okay.
So he basically wrote a thing, because obviously, yeah, well, I mean, trying to talk about it gets me so flabbergasted.
Oh, are you gonna get pissed off
No, I'm not pissed off. I mean, I've already had the pissed off, but
today or in life?
no, just in life at it.
Oh, okay. Oh,
No, they introduced things. Now I'm all for introducing some new stuff, but Star Wars isn't a new franchise, right? When was running out of gas in space an issue? The only time I ever even remotely saw it an issue was when was in I believe it was Empire, right? When the Falcon's hyperdrive is busted,
okay.
and so that's why they go to Cloud City. But there wasn't talk of we don't have gas, we just can't go to light speed.
Who runs out of gas?
That's what like half the movie of
The
Last
fleet?
Jedi is. Yeah, the fleet.
Are they low on gas? You
Yes.
mean? Oh, they never run out. They're
Yeah,
just low.
Yeah, they're low on fuel. They're about to run out. That's why they're drifting through space.
At a snail's pace.
And all of a sudden, the not Empire can warp jump in bursts and track you through warp speed, which they never could before. So that's new. Poe Dameron is now just a bad man, and just
because he opposes purple-haired
Well, Leia gets on his case. The purple-haired
Wait, who's
lady,
Poe again?
Poe Dameron. He's the
White guy?
Yeah, he's the flight guy.
Okay, I said white guy.
Yeah, he's the flight guy.
Flight white guy.
So all of a sudden, every
the
corner
white flight guy.
this guy goes around, he's just getting
Crap.
woman hated
Hated by
through the
women.
movie. When in the last movie, he was actually a hero. So in this, I don't know, and and I'll say this before I get to the beginning of it, but you mentioned purple-haired lady. So for the viewers out there, I hope you understand what they were alluded to with Leia and the purple-haired lady. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh no. So who says they alluded to that? You
Well, just watch it.
Oh, okay. Watch it in that with those goggles on. Okay. I'll have to check it out.
Watch it, and listen to Kathleen Kennedy, or
Well,
what's her name? The purple-haired lady. I forget her real name. She was in Jurassic Park.
Laura Dern.
Yeah, listen to her in a couple interviews. You'll get it.
Okay.
Uh, okay, so you want me to start at the beginning kind of thing, or what do you...
You can do whatever the hell
Okay,
you
so I'm
want.
just saying what
if you
didn't
do
make
something
sense.
I don't want, I'll cut it
So
out.
what didn't... I'm just saying what didn't make sense to me, why I didn't like it, why I didn't enjoy it. They took the whole Jedi thing and threw it in the trash compactor.
Well, now, when you say the whole Jedi thing, what do you mean?
So we left off Force Awakens getting trolled the whole movie to find Luke Skywalker, and he's just standing there while she holds the lightsaber out to him, right? So then when the Last Jedi starts and they basically continue that scene, she tosses him the lightsaber, right?
I don't think she tosses it to
Or
him.
he hands it to him, and he throws it over a cliff, throws it away like it's nothing.
Mhm.
That's not Luke Skywalker. Hate to tell you, it's not Luke Skywalker.
I will bring up a good point that Matt brought up, though. If you watch the end of Return of the Jedi, what's the last thing he does with the lightsaber?
Here, I'll tell you about that. That would be like if you had done some really shitty things.
So he throws it away because he's...
And I got somebody here saying, you're gonna beat up Nate, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, and I'll be like, I'm never gonna do that. I throw the weapon down because I'm not gonna strike him down.
Oh, okay.
Has nothing to do with him not wanting to be a Jedi. That was exactly him becoming a Jedi Knight right there. That's the difference.
Okay.
So and the books, obviously, in the novels, which people don't want to count, and that's fine, they don't want to, but you can't blame the fan base that does count them, and all the material that's been released.
Yeah, that's kind
In
of...
regards to these characters.
For the record, that's kind of my position. Is I'm not big on all the extra comic books, novels, all this kind of stuff. But I'm not gonna, I think the movies should be able. You should be able to watch the movies on their own, and they should be able to explain stuff. But for those people who want to go more in depth into stuff, by all means, read your novels and stuff. So,
Right.
so that's where my stance is. I don't like reading novels.
Yeah. But anyways, so Luke started after Return of the Jedi. He does start the New Jedi Academy. That's a thing, and they do mention kind of it in Last Jedi when he's saying, and the next one with what happened with Kylo Ren, right? And he started this temple and all this and that, right? So he worked for years doing that to bring balance to the Force again and restore balance to the galaxy. Merely defeating the Emperor didn't do that. And so him just throwing the lightsaber away and all that was atrocious. And then he asks, who are you? Whatever, okay. Why are you here? And he keeps asking her that in the movie. Like, didn't we just watch a movie where he left an embedded map to find him if he was needed? So they just completely forgot about that. He even asked where Han is, and they just cut and don't give you nothing. No response. No response to Han Solo dying, nothing. You don't even get to see that scene. Stupid. They just took a giant crap on all these characters. So then he decides to teach her a little bit, right? A little bit, and she makes everything tremble, and he gets so afraid that he's just got to stop teaching her. And so literally she's had like in the movie like maybe 2 days of practice. She sits on a freaking rock and meditates. Okay, great. Great. She's hitting a statue with a stick and then finally used it as a lightsaber. Okay. There's your training. Um, so then she goes away without fanfare. Then all of a sudden we got Yoda around as the ghost in the movie.
Well, doesn't he just show up from one scene?
Well, yeah, but here's the differences. Again, they break the laws of what they've established with the Force. Remember in it's Empire Strikes Back when Luke leaves for Cloud City to go save his friends. You know, and Obi-Wan, the ghost, says to him, you must face Vader alone. I cannot help you, right?
Yeah.
Why not? Why can't Obi-Wan help him?
Is this a trick question?
Well,
You don't know either?
because he can't affect anything, can he?
You
He
mean
can
being
appear.
dead?
Right.
Oh, okay.
So what do we see in The Last Jedi? All of a sudden Yoda can just wield lightning and all this other stuff and affect the physical world.
What do you mean? You set that thing on fire?
Yeah, he can use the Force to affect the physical world.
Oh.
So why could these ghosts not help anybody?
Uh-huh.
Because then we see which I'll get to, but then we see in the next movie, Luke actually catches the lightsaber from going into the fire when she throws it in. She's gonna throw it away.
Oh, as a Force ghost.
Yes. So physically they can do stuff, so that eliminates all that stuff with...
That it doesn't follow its own rules.
Right, doesn't follow its own rules that it's already laid out.
Well, I agree. Good point.
All right, so there's that. And then let's talk about the blow up in space. Of course, everyone calls it Mary Poppins scene. Another thing that the Force doesn't do and shouldn't do.
What shouldn't it do?
She can survive the vacuum of space. Somehow not freeze instantly. Float herself back and just kind of look in the door, the window, and they'd let her in. But they ceremoniously just kill off Admiral Akbar, who was in the first 3 movies, fighting the Empire, and who's a major character in the books. He just floats away, nothing, not even a mention. So that's kind of what I mean. Their whole point was to destroy everything that was old. Eventually, that was the goal of these Star Wars movies, and they succeeded.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And we got porgs or whatever they're called flying around with Chewbacca.
Well, it's just a new thing you can sell merchandise.
That's great, but what did Chewbacca do in the movie? Nothing. Did nothing. Force Awakens, he actually did a little something. His friend dies, and now he's just hanging out with porgs and Luke Skywalker, who hates everything. So I don't understand it, Then let's get to my favorite thing. Now we have the and I'll say it, the anime character.
Who's the anime character?
I believe her name was Rose Tico.
Oh, okay.
We have the anime character, because that's basically how she acted. It was like a anime character on sugar. Super hyper.
Oh, okay. Hyper personality.
Yeah, and it was just too over the top. And all of a sudden, so here we have what's his character name? The Stormtrooper guy.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember his character name.
Whatever his name
Finn.
is. Finn, yeah. So we have Finn, who, in Force Awakens, we could see he was taking a shine to Rey. Right? We could see this. And they briefly alluded to maybe he's Force sensitive and can sense stuff too, because he originally was doing the lightsaber.
Yeah, I forgot.
And he totally failed, but she said, "Here, give me it, and I'll do it." she beats up Kylo Ren. So in this movie now, he's kind of worried about Rey, but not really. So now he's trying to sneak away to go help his friends, and Rose Tico comes and knocks him out. But oh, he's a hero to the whatever the alliance. So then we get sidetracked for what seems like a half hour to go to a casino where they had a lot of innuendo going on about the people at this casino. And, so now the movie turns into these two people sidetracking everything to go find a code guy, which they don't need to begin with later on, because it really didn't matter. And then they're going to free slaves. But the animal slaves, they leave the children behind. Did you notice that?
Probably.
What? I mean, I don't know what the message here is, people.
Yeah.
So we get sidetracked with this story that supposedly was loosely designed to be a love interest story of Rose, right? Okay. Because we see that at the end of the movie with the crash in the desert and that whole... she stopped him from being a hero. When she kisses him, or they kiss. They have to share a kiss.
Oh.
That's this movie, right? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, then basically what I didn't like is going on, because I don't want to get too far on just Last Jedi. Once again we have Rey. If you remember Empire Strikes Back, Luke Skywalker could do he's on his hand, one hand, doing a one-handed handstand, and he's floating a rock. And it took all of his concentration to do that. She comes up, there's a back entrance to this compound. How do I get in? And they down the other side, they're like, oh, we can't get out, there's rocks everywhere. Oh, but don't worry, Rey can move the giant boulders just effortlessly out of the way.
Yep, that's...
Remember, she's only had 2 days of Jedi lessons, maybe? I mean, really, according to the movie? Anyways, so just more of her, she could do anything, it didn't really matter. It's getting sick. And then Snoke, they just kill him off. He was useless and meaningless.
Well, yeah, we didn't even comment on that character at all. What did you think about him when he appeared in Force Awakens? I'm like, oh, so now it's just this new
Emperor type.
New Emperor character who we haven't heard anything about. He just appears.
Right. Well, yeah, but then we learned later on it really was the Emperor all along, just like a Scooby-Doo cartoon. It was me the whole time, and I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for you meddling Jedi. So Snoke does this big bad guy who we don't know is a clone yet, or whatever he is, just gets killed. And so you've got Finn who kind of likes Rey, but then you have this sort of tension between Kylo and Rey going on this whole movie, where all of a sudden they can just talk through the Force and see images of where they're at, like portals.
He's getting pissed.
Yeah. Oh, but then the best part was, all of a sudden now they're going to use the ships that are out of gas. Purple Hair Lady's going to do the ultimate sacrifice and initiate the warp drive, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh, warp kill maneuver.
Yeah, into the big dreadnought ship and take it down. Meanwhile, Poe and them can just go kick rocks and go float around somewhere and regroup on this other place. So in other words, introducing stuff that, it could have been creative, sure. For a big giant frigate, no, I think it would have been better for little ships maybe would do something like that, but that doesn't make any sense anyways. But anyways, I guess we'll get to the final thing. So Luke Skywalker now decides he's going to get involved. And he comes around, and you can see he holds Leia's hand. But wait, he's not really there. But somehow the droids don't see through it. He's there. So now you have all the guns focused on Luke Skywalker, and he just stands there. And what could have been a really epic scene was utter garbage. So they have him do a forced illusory power. Okay, that part's cool. But that's not what the fans wanted. The fans wanted to see Master Jedi Luke Skywalker wielding the stupid lightsaber.
In person?
Yes, they wanted to see
The stupid lightsaber.
the stupid lightsaber. Because, well, it was stupid, he threw it away. Um, so he does all this to just fool Kylo Ren so that the rebels could get away, right? Am I right so far?
I think so.
But guess what? They couldn't get away because who needed to save them? Rey. So Luke just did all that for nothing. And then to top it off, he's just sitting there on a rock and just disappears and dies. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous way to end Luke Skywalker.
Damn it.
So, that would go into the next movie.
Did the next one to be released, was that Solo?
I think it was Solo.
How much you want to talk? I mean,
I don't really want to. It's garbage.
so he don't even.
It was hot garbage.
So, is that your least favorite out of all of these? Would you say? I mean, if you don't even want to talk about.
No.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
I'm tied between Last Jedi and
So
the Rise of Palpatine.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's
They named it Rise of
Skywalker.
Skywalker, but that's not what it is.
So, Last Jedi and Skywalker, Rise of Skywalker
About the
are
same.
worse than Solo is
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. But you don't want to talk. That's understandable.
Well,
I mean, Solo is. I mean, there's not much to say.
Right. It got to the point. I mean, I seen Solo. I probably watched Solo once. So I'm not.
Yeah, you don't even know. Okay, that's fine. We save some time.
I mean, but one thing I will comment on because I heard you guys talk about it. You talked about the Darth Maul thing.
Oh yeah, you want to make sense out of that?
Yeah. According to the novels and the Clone Wars book, along with the Clone Wars series, Darth Maul does live after Phantom Menace.
Oh, okay.
He gets the mechanical legs and stuff like that. So he does live, and he tries his hardest to, I think, eventually overthrow Palpatine. But that doesn't work. But anyways, I don't need to go get all that. But that's where that comes from.
That's how he's around.
Right. So, because I want to say Solo was somewhere after Revenge of the Sith. Timeline-wise.
Oh God.
I don't know when it.
No, I'm of the recollection that the stormtroopers had like the 80s era. I think that I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was like the normal stormtrooper garb.
So it would have been episode 4-ish around there.
I guess. Well, that would have made no sense.
So near the time of Rogue One.
Yeah, it makes no sense because.
Solo would have been an adult, like.
Yeah, like
Well,
how far is it after?
I mean, I guess he was an adult in that movie, but you know what I mean.
Maybe it was. Oh, okay. I'm sitting here thinking backwards. So the clones were first. Yeah, maybe it was somewhere before episode. Well, it had to have been before episode 4. We're so far into the video, my mind is kind of
maybe
mush.
between. Let's just say between episode 2 and episode 3.
Okay.
Probably between there. That's gonna be my guess.
But the thing that's so goofy is I'm pretty sure it was all the normal stormtroopers, which would have made no sense because it was clone troopers
Right.
until.
I forget too.
Anyway, he doesn't want to say much about Solo, which is fine because it might be my least favorite out of the Disney Star Wars.
Yeah, I will say that they put in their own little propaganda stuff in there as far as Lando goes, so I'll just leave it at that.
Okay, yeah, we'll save some time and just skip over Solo and now on to the final. Is this the final thing we have to talk about? You're going to comment? I haven't seen anything on I haven't seen anything on streaming. So.
The series?
Well, I haven't seen anything on Disney Plus
I've
because I don't have Disney Plus.
Yeah, I've seen.
I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that.
I could talk about it briefly after, because I
Okay.
think the show came after this.
So on to whatchamacallit, Rise of Palpatine.
Rise of Palpatine, because there is no more Skywalkers. So, what did I think of that one? I thought it couldn't get any more absurd, and then I was wrong. I mean, I knew they were going to kill off Leia, but I didn't know she was going to just die laying there after saying son or whatever she said to Kylo Ren. And then she reached out to Kylo Ren and just took all of her energy to do that. And she's just laying there dead. That's the end of Leia.
Well, yeah.
Now, granted, the goofy part was Leia was never a super strong Jedi. Never was, because she became more of a politician
Yeah.
as it went on. So, and then the ghost of Han Solo is just around. I don't know if that's a ghost or his consciousness. It really doesn't say.
Yeah.
Like, the tale of Kylo Ren turning back to the light, I think, is absolutely ridiculous. He did nothing throughout the whole movie to indicate, throughout the other two, that he was going to become a good guy again. Nothing. I can't name one thing. Can you?
Oh, well, the only thing I can comment on is that cool scene which I liked in Last Jedi, where it was like he kills Snoke, and then it was like they join forces to kill the bad guys in the room, and then she thinks he's with good and he wants her to be with bad. So I like that dynamic.
Sure, that dynamic was there for that, but I mean, in general,
Well, I guess that's my answer. Like, maybe that is a teeny weeny little bit of taste of, oh, maybe being alongside the good girl was fun.
Right.
That's why I brought it up.
okay. But yeah, it was. I mean, you saw what happened to Vader, what it took to get Vader back to the light,
Oh yeah.
and what happened when he did. He died. Now, yeah, he was messed up because of the fight, but in general, that was the dark side took so much out of him that it was just going to kill him to come back.
Oh, we'll be right back in a cut. That was quick. Anyway, we're back. Where the hell were you? Do you remember? Bitching about something.
Probably bitching about something. Was it the Snoke? Oh no, it was the bringing him back to the good and stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, I didn't think that was very believable. And then they also really dialed up the full volume what Rey was able to do in this movie.
What? I forgot.
Okay, like when they go
everything.
Yeah, when they go to the remains of the Death Star, right? And there's the 100-foot waves and all that.
Oh yeah.
And the natives of the planet itself are like, oh, it's too dangerous, don't go out there, da 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 da.
Well, she can do it.
And they're like, we'll go out there later. And they turn around, she's gone, and she's already just sailing it like a master out to the place.
What about the knife with the
Yeah, that all of a
Line
sudden
it
she
up.
finds that.
pull out the thing and line it up with the broken piece on the Death Star,
And then the whole time they didn't even need that because it was in. There's a different way to find it, so they never even needed that thing. Oh, also a little bit of a rewind, real quick. So they were in the other movie. They were establishing that character, Captain Phasma.
Oh yeah.
They just killed her off unceremoniously, and that was it.
In Last
Last Jedi.
Yeah, I know. Did you know that character is based off of Phantasm? The sphere.
Yeah,
Cool, huh?
that was cool. That was a cool part. I don't know if they told people that, but
Well, how do I know that? They must have told people.
I don't know. I don't know if they told Kathleen Kennedy.
Well, probably not. Okay, anyway.
So I thought that was absurd. And then, of course, in the beginning we learned it's the Emperor the whole time. Now, in the books, to be fair, the Emperor does not totally die after Jedi.
So
After Return of the Jedi.
you can't. Okay.
But the difference was, see, they made Snoke in these movies, right? In the books, there's a planet that basically it's kind of like the Emperor's new homeworld. He has a facility there of clone chambers with young bodies of himself. That generally he would walk to them, he'd be like this, me and you, and then transfer himself into the clone body. The reason he needed to do it was because he was so evil that's why he looked the way he did. The dark side was literally
rotting him
him away.
It probably only lasted a few months in one of them.
Or
bodies.
whatever. Yeah, that's why he needed it. That's why he
So
needed.
just had a whole bunch of bodies
Right.
like people wear suits.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And then in the book, Skywalker finds him and kills all the clone bodies. and then kills the Emperor. So once and for all,
Whoa.
he's actually dead. There's no way for him to come back.
Whoa.
Although his evil essence may still be, in the
Hanging
somewhere.
in the
Right.
galaxy.
But in this, he never died. They don't explain exactly how he lived. Where
Did they
dug
explain
him
how
up
he lived
from.
in the books?
Yes.
Wow.
His body was completely destroyed, and it was just his spirit consciousness that was still kind of active.
And where was the consciousness? Just floating through space?
Yeah, basically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where he was so powerful in the dark side, it took all his will to eventually get back to his clone facility to get into a body.
Okay.
But it wasn't instantly. And basically he did kind of puppet things kind of behind the scenes. So part of that is accurate. What's not accurate is how in the world did they create thousands and thousands of these giant ships and nobody knows it? Where are they getting all the hirees for this? I mean, they're just living under the ice.
Cloning people.
And you got like this amphitheater of Sith ghosts or whatever.
Yeah, what the
on
hell
there?
is even in
I don't
there?
know.
One thing, okay, you don't gotta, but you have to admit, even though like seeing him back, the guy playing the
Sure.
Emperor,
Ian McKellen.
even though it was like that he was
Or-
back or whatever, and no explanation, like to see him do it again was
Yeah, that was
cool.
great. Of course. That was great. I mean, there wouldn't be anybody else who would want to play the Emperor, right?
Okay, yeah, we
No,
can at least agree on
Oh,
that.
for sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I don't think this movie's good or anything,
Oh.
but I mean that's like one of the coolest aspects because we
Right.
never thought we'd see him do that ever again.
Right. So what I don't agree with some of that, not necessarily that, but these weird force powers. You could just teleport your lightsaber through distances, and remember she hands.
Oh, when they were fighting?
Yeah, and then
and-
when
yeah.
she helps Kylo after he turns good, all of a sudden he reaches behind his back and he has the lightsaber she
okay.
just gave to him from who knows where. And now they can transfer their essence and heal each other and bring back the dead. Right? So Kylo Ren died, then got brought back in the same fight with Rey. Right? So then he gets shoved off the cliff after the Emperor's like, ooh, a convergence, and starts draining both their life forces so he can heal up. And the only accurate force power, like to the books, was when he actually zapped into the sky
Okay.
and started zapping the ships. He could, in the books, he
Okay.
could do that. That was actually pretty good. That part I did like.
Oh, okay,
But he's just hanging on a thing. It reminded me of
yeah.
Hellraiser,
Oh, mosquito.
Hellraiser 2 with the guy
Oh, which guy?
with all the plant things, the tentacle things.
Oh!
Right, the doctor. And he's being like towed around with the thing on his head. I mean, it was pretty much what the Emperor was in this. He was,
Yeah.
and so
I recommend amputation.
the doctor is in. I mean, and in here, he tells her, yeah, I want you to strike me down. Because then, yeah, I'll be in your body. Right? So what happens in the end?
I forgot.
He dies, right? Who kills him?
I can't remember.
She does.
Okay.
So, is Rey really Rey in the end?
Oh.
Think, folks, think.
There you
But
go.
so Kylo gets pushed away during that fight, right? And it's just her. And all of a sudden we have all the Force people talking to him. So basically, everything that came before this movie, all like the first 6 Star Warses that were made, were absolutely wiped out. So the whole story of Luke Skywalker redeeming Vader and Vader bringing balance to the Force and him being the chosen one, completely destroyed. Because it was her the whole time. And she's not a Skywalker, she's a Palpatine.
Oh.
Right? So in the end, Kylo gives her the sword, the lightsaber.
The
And after he
sword.
climbs back up, she beats the Emperor as he lays there. And then she falls and she's gonna die. So then somehow Kylo knows how to do the light side gift after he just turned light side an hour ago to heal her and bring her back
Oh.
by sharing part of his essence. And what happens to Kylo for his effort? Now he's dead. Why didn't she die when she did it to him?
Because she's...
So when Kylo dies right there, what did they just do?
I forgot.
They killed the last Skywalker.
Oh!
There are no more.
Damn it.
He was the last one.
Okay.
So, Rise of Skywalker, what's that mean?
Oh. What means whatever she identifies as is what she is.
There you go. You said it, I didn't. Okay, so the very end of it, what do we see in the end? She's got Han Solo's Millennium Falcon. She's got Luke's X-wing. She's got both their lightsabers, right? And what does she do with them? She buries them in the sand. At a house she's never been to. In Tatooine.
Yeah, that's true. How does she even know? Well, just the Force, I guess.
I mean, what did the Force go on going, hey, I want you to go to this place.
This is where my old house used to be.
So in other words, they completely, what the symbolism was, they completely buried the old. It's gone. No more. The end.
Unlimited coffee. I just made coffee appear in his
Yep.
hand.
It's a new Jedi thing.
Right. It's the new trick that'll be unveiled in Skywalker Returns, Strikes Back, and lives in episode. What is it?
Skywalker's
10.
Revenge.
Yeah, Star Wars X. Anyway.
Yeah.
In closing, I'm assuming you pretty much said your piece.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if I could, I was going to say one of the messages that they tried to send the audience in these movies was anybody could be a Jedi. If you want to be a Jedi, anybody can be one. Because at the end of Force Awakens, what do they show you?
I forget what did
The kid doing the broom with the.
That's
just
the
his
last.
mind?
You mean Last Jedi?
Is that Last? Yeah, okay, Last Jedi. Yeah, just.
Because it was after the
Right.
slave animals were gone, the kids were left to just sweep.
And then in the next movie, did we ever see those kids again? Of course not, because the director forgot that the guy did that.
Well, either that or he didn't want to deal with it. But yeah, either way, the little slave children that began in whatever.
I would have rather have Revenge of the Binks than this.
Revenge of the what?
Jar Jar Binks.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay, it'll be interesting to see how long this video is, but admittedly it was mostly hearing from Keith, which is fine. You guys have probably already heard from my take as, talking with Matt in the phone audio conversation. I didn't really want to rehash, and Keith probably heard a lot of that too, and I didn't really want to rehash a lot of my thoughts, but I weighed in here and there.
Yeah. Well, I've never really talked to you about it too much.
Well, so there you go. So now we had a chance to do that.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're good,
I'm good.
I'm good. I kind of Star Wars'd out,
Yeah.
more or less. And did you want to say anything briefly about the stuff on
Mandalorian.
Disney Plus or Obi-Wan? Anything? good?
Obi-Wan's not out yet.
What?
I don't think it's out yet.
Well, I thought it is.
As far as I know, it's not. Anyways, my younger self, my kiddo,
Oh, okay.
hasn't mentioned it yet. So
I'm pretty sure it's out. But anyway,
I'll see. As far as Mandalorian goes, I actually I enjoyed the first 2 seasons, especially the last 4 or so episodes of the second season.
Okay.
Obviously when they brought Skywalker back, it basically destroyed what they did in these movies for how they portrayed him.
But I'm hearing that Mandalorian is like in the process of going down the tube.
It is because
It's inevitable.
well, and I think part of that is because Disney decided to treat certain people poorly, and I think they're paying the price for that in The Mandalorian.
What people?
The actress Gina Carano.
Oh, you mean that whole fiasco? Okay.
Yeah, that whole fiasco.
Okay.
It caused the show and all that. That's why it wasn't. They didn't go into the next season for a long time. They canceled one of their main cast members,
Okay.
and she happens to be very popular. So,
So yeah.
yep, go W, go broke.
Oh, thanks for not saying it. Well, I guess if that does it for Keith, it sure as hell does it for me. Keith's got coffee. I don't have nothing, and I guess that'll pretty much do
Yeah,
it.
it's been great.
I don't know how long do you think this is? Hour? Better part of an hour?
Maybe, yeah. I mean, yeah. We got down here. It's just, well, I don't know what time was it.
Who the hell knows? It's as long as it is.
It takes as long as it takes, and that's the way it is with Nate and Keith.
So that's what Keith thinks about Disney Star Wars, and I weighed in a little here and there, and
Yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna give them certain credit. Like, yeah, I'm not. They got all the usual bells and whistles. They look great, fantastic, mostly. That doesn't do it for me.
well,
So-
that's not enough.
Right.
It's just a part of it.
Right. So everyone has their own take on it. You know, if people are entertained by them, that's great. You know, I don't care.
You don't care. Very cool. All right, Keith, thanks for stopping by. We'll catch you on the next one
Alrighty.
about whatever we decide to talk about.
Right.
And I guess that about does it.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.